NBC's Megan Fitzgerald joins me now from Kyiv. Also with me is Yulia Mendel, former press secretary to President Zelensky and the author of the new book, The Fight of Our Lives, My Time with Zelensky. Megan, I want to get the lay of the land from you on what's happening there. The push forward by the Ukrainian troops, the retaking of land in just the past couple weeks has been pretty remarkable. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned today, President Zelensky was in one of those liberated towns where he paid homage and held a moment of silence for those men and women who died while trying to fight for Ukraine's independence. And then, of course, thank the men and women who are still fighting as this counteroffensive continues to rage on. Now, we know at this point that the number of square miles has increased to 3,200 at this point. That's up from about 1,000 from yesterday. So they're making progress every day. Now, in the southern part of the country, in the Kherson region, we know that fierce fighting is taking place there. Ukrainian officials are telling us that they've been able to liberate dozens more territory down there. But, you know, as these towns are being liberated, we're also seeing the devastation done under Russian occupation. More reports of war crimes. We know that dozens of investigations have already been launched. Up in the Kharkiv area, as you mentioned, in the northeast part of the country, there's allegations, and they're also saying that they also have evidence showing that the Russians use a police station, the basement of a police station, for a torture chamber for everyday citizens. The big question, though, that a lot of people are asking here is this a turning point in the war? Military officials say it very well could be. Of course, we've talked to Ukrainians on the ground here. They believe this is their moment. We are seeing the Russians fleeing the battlefield. They are capitalizing on that, and they're trying to take back as much ground as they possibly can as we head into those winter months, Katie.
Megan, thank you very much. Yulia, your book is called My Time with Zelensky. Tell us about what you're seeing in him, the leadership you're seeing in him in this moment right now.
Well, of course, Ukrainians are all united around our leader because we understand that he's done enormous things to make Ukraine still stay independent and sovereign country. And in my book, actually, The Fight of Our Lives, I'm explaining how he developed from the image of a comedian towards a leader. And in fact, when he was invited to leave the country, when the war started there, and when Russians were approaching towards Kyiv, and when his personal life and the life of his family was under threat, I knew that he wouldn't leave his people. I was not surprised, because I was traveling with him to the Donbas region that Russia had invaded back in 2014. And I saw that he was never afraid to go to the front lines to handshake with the soldiers, even if there was shelling and his security, personal security, did not allow him to go. He still was going there to show that the leader would stay with the soldiers under the shelling and under the threat. So this is the part of the character of Zelensky that you can learn more about reading the book.
Is this a turning point right now in the war? What we're seeing, the retaking of Kherson and other areas that Russia had control.
Well, it's very difficult to be confident in something during this war, especially this terrible invasion, of course. But all Ukrainians have hope and celebrate this hope these days, because up to now, this is the biggest progress that has happened during the last 7 months already. And of course, this shows that Ukrainian army and Ukrainian leadership is so determined to get back the Ukrainian territory and to return actually people, because right now we know that over 1 million of Ukrainians still stay under occupation, and they literally pray every day that Ukrainian army comes there. So, of course, all these developments just make our determination stronger.
Your fiancé had to stay behind when the war started. How is he right now?
Oh, thanks God. We were lucky that he came back. He really stayed there for some time. He told me that he was going to bring me my hometown as a wedding gift. He had not yet, but I really hope that Kherson, which is in the south of Ukraine, will come back as fast as possible. I know that over 50 settlements have been returned already. I know that a place where he was fighting, it's the village of my childhood. It's fully destroyed. destroyed, unfortunately. My grandmother spent weeks sitting in the basement, having wound in her leg, and just hearing all the shelling destroying her garden, her home. And now she is safe in Kyiv, thanks God. But she doesn't stop talking about her son and watching all the news and just like counting every minute to come back.